What's up and welcome to the Bleav in Hornets podcast on the Bleav Podcast Network, presented by Bet Online. My name is Sam Dracula. With me is Raymond Felton. Raymond, how you doing?
I'm good, Sam. How about yourself?
Not too bad. Not too bad. I feel like I'm losing my voice. We're recording this Monday night, right after the Hornets comeback win over the Pelicans. I was live streaming during it, and I turned off the stream, and I'm now recording this. So I may lose my voice during the course of this. And I'm also may get a noise complaint in my apartment building because I was screaming the entire time. So, I got my windows open. Like it was a good game. If you haven't watched it, you missed it. You missed a nice game out there. But if you're listening to this podcast, you've seen this game. There's no way you haven't seen the game. But yeah, man, we're going to talk about the Hornets sitting in the 9th spot as we speak. The Pelicans, the Brooklyn Nets are playing right now against the Jazz, or not the Jazz. Are they playing the Jazz? They are playing the Jazz.
Yeah, playing Utah.
Ooh, that game was a lot closer than it was a little bit ago. So we'll see how that goes. You know, the Hornets are kind of in striking distance of the 8 seed all of a sudden with this win streak they're on. We're going to get into the win streak. We're going to get into UNC, obviously. And we'll talk some LeBron James as well this episode. So stay with us. We'll be right back after this break. It's that time of year again as college basketball takes center stage with the tournament finally upon us. If you're looking to wager this year, Bet Online is the #1 spot for all your updated odds and info, along with great contests, including the bracket contest, where you have a chance to take home the top prize. Head over to the website betonline.ag or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. 50. Just use the promo code Bleav, BLEAV, to get started. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino games. BetOnline, where the game starts. Before we talk Hornets, we got to talk college basketball. Your squad ruined a lot of people's brackets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, didn't ruin mine, but anyway, go ahead.
No, let's jump right into it. UNC make it into the Sweet 16. You know, they caused a little ruckus here in the tournament thus far. How are you feeling about your squad, and what are your thoughts?
I'm feeling highly confident right now. I went to the first game, they had out there. It was a blowout versus Marquette. I thought it was going to be tougher. But they came out, they played well. They jumped on top of them, kind of took the morale, took the energy out of those guys, and kind of did the same thing to Baylor. And kind of jumped on Baylor, kind of got the league and started hitting some shots. And they were just playing great basketball, man, playing together. And then, of course, here goes the shenanigans, Like, listen, basketball is a game of physicality. Things happen, and Manic didn't really mean to elbow the kid in his mouth. Like, granted, flagrant 1, okay. But flagrant 2 with ejection, come on. That's just a little extreme in that situation because, that was not, intent. That was not him doing that on purpose. It was intentional. So, I mean, things happened, but I knew that was about to happen. The whole game was about to shift. I didn't think it was going to shift that much to the point where I thought we was about to lose it, But, those guys pulled it through, and figured it out. And I'm just glad they was able to move forward to Sweet 16.
So UCLA up next Friday, the 25th. How you feeling about that? I
feel good, man. I think that if we play our style of basketball and play the way I know we can play, it's a winnable game. But also that's a team that's battle tested as well. Those guys was, in the Final Four championship last year, I think. I don't know if it was the Final Four or the championship, but they made it far last year and they got the same team. And, those guys coming back to try to redeem themselves, so they're going to be ready to play. They're well coached. They play together. And they got a lot of talent over there. But, so do we. We well coached, got a lot of talent. And I think our big kind of offsets them a little bit, And then when Manic's shooting the ball the way he's shooting it, I'm telling you, man, it's gonna be fun to see. It's gonna be a good game for sure.
How much pride does it like swell you up with seeing UNC do this right now?
Oh man, it feels great, because everybody was writing us off. Like you said, like it messed up a lot of people's brackets because they didn't think we was going to be there, but I knew we was. After seeing them play against Duke and just seeing the way they was playing like later in the season, like I feel like they kind of figured out a little bit. They still had kind of ups and downs at times, but just the performance they had against Duke let me know that the type of team they can be. And I said it. I told people, I said, if that team shows up, it's going to be hard to beat Carolina. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Tar Heel, but it's going to be hard to beat them if they show up like that, the way they played against Duke that last game of the season. If that team shows up, they're going to be hard to beat, and that's the way they're playing right now.
Any words of wisdom from like through the airwaves you want to give the squad?
Oh, for my young fellas?
Yeah.
Hey, man, it's one game at a time. We all know that it's one game and you go home. So one game at a time, enjoy this process, and just taking one step. And, you win these next two, you go on to the Final Four. So, it's just one of those things where, cherish this moment because you only get it once. I've been to the tournament twice in my career, and we lost in the Sweet 16 to Texas my sophomore year. Then the next year we got another chance, and we got a chance to do it all. So, it's a special thing if you're able to get that far, just that whole process. So just take it one game at a time. That's all I can tell my young boys.
Okay, so switching gears to the Hornets. Since last week's episode, we recorded before the Pelicans game. So at that point, the Hornets were coming off two losses with the Nets against the Nets and the Celtics. Since we were last recorded, it's good. It feels good to say this. They've won 5 straight games, and we're 2 games above 500. And this homestand, you look at it like, okay, well, if they can handle their business at home here, it can really set the stage the rest of the way, build some positive momentum, and make up for some of the slips along the way, right? As a player, when you were like in this crunch time of the year, right, when you see like the end of these seasons approaching, is there much like looking? I know you want to take every game one at a time, but when you're like, all right, we got a homestand here, is there like we got to really show out? Does that enter your mind at all? Does that play?
You think about it for sure, because you're at home. You always want to protect your home court, and that's where you're most comfortable. When you're in your building with your fans behind you and just your family there, and just just having that different type of morale. The end of the season is kind of like the playoffs, especially if you're playing for a spot, playing for, trying to move up in the poll as far as, the rankings. Mm-hmm. And I think with Charlotte, every game is a playoff game right now. And you got to approach it like that. You got to have that mentality. You got to be serious. And the 8th spot is right there. It's reachable, depending on what Brooklyn do. But I think they just got to control their own destiny, no matter what. If y'all stay the course, then anything can happen. Anything can happen. And like you said, they're on a winning streak right now. They're playing well. They came back and showed some poise tonight and got a good win from a team that is playing very good right now. Yeah. New Orleans is playing great basketball right now. Like, they playing really good basketball right now. I like what they doing over there. So that was a good win. It was a big win. And it showed that they can win games, when it's tough. And that's a great sign right there. That's a great sign.
Yeah, if I'm in the Western Conference and I'm one of the top seeds, I'm kind of dreading playing the Pelicans. Like, they're going to be a tough out, especially when they get Ingram back. I think there's reports that Zion is done for the year. So we'll see how that plays out. The Pelicans team is nice. So if you're a New Orleans Hornets fan, if you're New Orleans Pelicans fan out there,
you went back right there, didn't you?
Oh man, I'm gonna bleep that out in post. No, if you're a Pelicans fan, somehow stumble across this, like, your squad is nice, and that's one of my favorite things about the NBA. You see all the teams home and away, and you get like a little window on like a whole different side of the NBA world you're not accustomed to. So yeah, the Pelicans came through tough into Charlotte. We saw Devonte Graham return to Charlotte for the first time, since he left. So that was really cool to see. And they played a video for him during the first break in the first quarter. We didn't get to see it on TV, but you kind of saw like the aftermath of, the fans standing ovation, tight shot on Devonte Graham. When you returned to Charlotte for the first time after you left, what was that experience like? Were there any expectations or anything you wanted to do or prove when you came back to Charlotte for the first time?
Well, you always want to beat your former team. That's always a thing you want to do. And we actually played them in New York right before we played them in Charlotte, so it was kind of interesting. We beat them in New York. We beat them in New York, and we came back to Charlotte and got them. But to be here in front of your fans, people that you went through. We went through a lot of Charlotte, man. We was getting out behind Wood my first 4 years, and then my fifth season, we made the playoffs. So I just felt like the city kind of grew with our team, with the Bobcats. That's what we was called back then. They kind of grew with us and went through the growing pains, went through the losses, and and then we finally got through that threshold and got into the playoffs. So it was heartfelt. It was a beautiful thing to come back, and winning the game too also made it that much more sweet.
Yeah, because there was an element there at this game where they doubled CJ McCollum late. And the ball found its way to Devonte Graham, just like a few steps inside the half court line. He got a decent shot up, and it was like, oh my! If this was a movie that goes in, we go to overtime. Like I thought for sure that was just what other outcome could there be, given the Hornets record in overtime? Like, oh man, here we go. Didn't happen. Hornets secured the dub on Miles Bridges' birthday. Happy birthday, Miles. I thought for sure we'd see like some type of weird like Bridges go crazy tonight. He had a good game, but you don't get to say this often. I think Mason Plumlee had like a coming out party tonight. He's went full force with the left-handed free throws, 3 for 4 tonight. He's been shooting. This team is undefeated since he's been shooting the free throws left-handed. So something's working. He's throwing down reverse dunks. He's diming people up. He had 3 assists tonight, 11 points, 10 rebounds. Obviously, people get on Mason Plumlee's case. The Hornets need everyone says the Hornets need a center, and they do. But I think Mason tonight really showed out. What'd you make of his performance tonight? Because they had a tall task defending Jonas Valanciunas, who is a monster of his own. Like 24 points, 18 rebounds for him. That dude can do everything on the floor.
My biggest thing with people saying that you need a center, I mean, you got to look at the layout of this team. You want to bring in a scoring center that's going to take the ball away from your playmakers, your guys who scores, your guy who make things happen. You need a Mason Plumlee. You need a guy that's athletic, can catch lobs, block shots, rebound, can pass the ball. Like, I just think somebody just need to like some fire up on him, like he's playing right now, and basically tell him you need to play like this all year. Be aggressive, be a legit center. You know what I'm saying? Like, be that guy that's forcing the paint, blocking shots, changing shots. You ain't even got to block them, just changing shots, going to get rebounds. Like, just be that aggressive guy. And I think that that'll be great for this team, rather than you go sign a center who's demanding the ball for points or, looking to get the ball within the offense. Because, I think it takes away from Rozier and, those guys, LaMelo and, Miles and just all your other guys who score the ball. You don't want to bring in another scorer. I just don't think that would fit.
Mm-hmm. I think that's well said. Because, that piece, because, you look at Harrell, right? They brought him in at the deadline. He doesn't really demand the ball either. He's there off the pick and roll, which, makes the other team honest in those scenarios. Versus, or when Plumlee comes out, he's a slower player. He's not going to shoot the ball. So the defender, unless it's a really good pick, it's going to be hard for him to create that space for the ball handler. Versus Harrell, where he's a real threat to go at the basket at all times. So that dynamic between the two of them is really interesting. And I honestly I brought Valanciunas' numbers to big him up because he's having an incredible year in New Orleans. And I don't know how many players in the league could stop him if they wanted to right now with the way he's been playing lately. Isaiah Thomas, another veteran I want to highlight. He's on day 19, I think, of his second So first 10-day, and now he's on the second 10-day. So of that 20-day trial, he's on day 19. So I think we'll find out hopefully tomorrow, if not that, and the day after, his future with the Hornets. I'm hoping they keep him.
Yeah,
5 of 9 tonight, 2 of 3 from 3, perfect from the free throw line.
Yeah, 15 points. That's big.
Yeah, he's delivering in a big way. 15 points off the bench and that's real. Those are real minutes that he's playing. Real meaningful minutes that he's playing. What you think we see him out there tonight, taking those really confident mid-range and 3-point shots tonight?
That's just Isaiah being Isaiah. He looked comfortable. He actually looks comfortable out there. He looks like he, just in his element. And I just think that it would be a mistake, if Charlotte let him go. And I really hope they don't, with this push they making and just, going into this postseason. I think they can use a guy like him because he's a guy that, that not everybody can just go get you 15, 20 coming off the bench. It's a select few, Tyler Hero, guys like that, Jordan Clarkson, those guys that are left that come off the bench that can be volume scorers. And I really think you can put him in that class for real. If he's given the opportunity, just tell him just go out there and be him. I think he can do that easily.
Yeah. And he looks like he's been playing with these players all season long. It's all honeymoon. They've figured it out immediately. And I like him in that second unit, kind of controlling things. Because there's in that second unit, there's a lot of redundancy, I guess. The guys like Oubre, Cody Martin, Jalen McDaniels, those guys kind of occupy the same kind of space and duties on the floor. Having Isaiah in that group kind of puts things into place a different way. I really like that a lot. So hopefully he sticks around, and we need him, basically. That's what I'm getting at. I don't know where we're getting at otherwise. There's no time left to do to replace him per se. And not that he needs to be replaced, but hey, lock him up. Sign Isaiah, please. Mitch, please sign Isaiah. I want to talk about I want to go back to the previous game briefly against Dallas and talk about Luka, because that game, after the game, Jason Kidd got on some of the other players on the team. He basically said that Luka can't do it by himself. Luka had 37 points that night. He played the entirety of the first and third quarter and didn't play at all in the fourth quarter because the game was just out of hand at that point. And he was getting when I was talking about earlier about the beauty of the NBA, you see every team twice. I wish we saw the Mavericks more than once, because I love watching Luka play. Because he's so masterful at getting the matchup he wants. And whether it was Bridges or Harrell, the switches, he was you're gonna defend me? Okay. Try to. So watching him play on regularly would be great. I may have to buy a league pass to watch more Luka. Kind of what I'm getting at. What's your take on Luka? As a point guard, you spent time in Dallas. What's the buzz around the Mavericks and Luka Doncic in general?
I think they like him, man. I think getting with Jay Kidd is really going to polish his game and really, make him understand that you have to have that confidence in your team. You have to have that confidence in the next man, you know what I'm saying? But, like Jay Kidd said, if y'all ain't doing y'all job, y'all got to help him. Y'all got to do y'all got to do your part. That man coming out here getting 37 and 3 quarters, but don't even play in the fourth because we've been getting blown out because ain't nobody else doing nothing. So, that's only right, for Jay Kidd to do that as a coach. But I think in some situations of games that I've watched, games that I've been at, I think sometimes Luka can drag the ball out a lot. I feel like, some situations he should trust his teammates, but that trust also has to be learned. It has to be earned. That's one thing you got to do. You got to earn it. For this man know he can go get a bucket. He know he can go create something at any time. He's extremely hard to stop. He's a 6'8" point guard with a strong body, and he know how to use his body. And he has handles, and he can shoot it. I mean, he has the total package. You know what I'm saying? But what I do know, he can pass the heck out of that ball too. So it's just one of those things where, y'all have to work on y'all game, continue to get better, and be ready to hit shots, be ready to make plays. And I think if once the other guys realize that, they're going to be a tough team too. They're going to be a tough team in that West that a lot of people don't want to see, because Luka by himself is tough. And, just the way he can control a game and control just everything. And then if you got those other guys stepping up, hitting shots and making plays, they could be a dangerous team to see too.
Yeah, we the Mavericks didn't have Dinwiddie for that game, which he's a really good player. So that was in the Hornets' favor. Brunson is real nice as well. I think he's a free agent in the summer. I think. I feel like he's about to get paid. If it's not this year, then it's next year. He's going to get a big paycheck. And
no, he's gonna get paid this year. I don't think he end up in Dallas though. I think he's gonna go somewhere else and get that money. A lot of buzz is saying New York.
Oh,
it's what a lot of buzz is saying. But don't let me put that out there because I don't know. But that's just some things I've heard floating around that maybe that's the case that the Knicks is looking at him. So we'll see.
That'd be a nice fit. That'd be a really nice fit. Him, RJ, Randall. That'd be real nice. So speaking of the Knicks, Wednesday, Knicks come to town. We got the Jazz on Friday for the Hornets, and then that's the end of the homestand. So with the Knicks and the Jazz, and then you're back basically on the road. I think there's one home game against the Nuggets, and then one home game against the Magic, and they close the season out against the Wizards. So when you look at Knicks and Utah at home, what are your thoughts about those matchups for the squad, given the way they've been playing lately? And then what do you hope to see? Is it kind of break away from Charlotte and have to go back out on the road to Brooklyn, where they're playing pretty well themselves?
I think there's two big games that they got to have, no matter what. You got two extremely good teams coming in here, and they coming to win games. So you got to continue to keep your winning streak going and continue to protect your home court. So I think that's the way they've been playing lately. If they continue to play that way, I think it's a great chance that they will win both games. But they got to break it because, like I said, there's two good teams coming in here. They got to be ready to play. They got to have that level of focus and have that level of, just knowing that all these games count at this point. Every game means something. So they got to come with that same type of intensity.
Yeah, what I'm loving is how many players are touching the floor now. When things were kind of looking rocky, we're only seeing 8 guys touch the floor. And now we're at the point where people are healthy again, and we're seeing different matchups and rollouts. McDaniels, for instance, he's been a slow he's on a slow run up, I guess, since he's been back from his injury. I don't think he's hit a 3 since he's been back, 0 for 9 or 0 for 10, I think, around that area. So he's gonna be, when he gets back going again, as we get hopefully Hayward back soon, things gonna be looking real promising in the final stretch here. So we gotta be knocking on wood, hoping for the best when it comes to that the rest of the way. I want to talk to you about LeBron James as well before we get out of here, because pretty big milestone. He passed Karl Malone on the all-time scoring list, and LeBron James is now has scored the second most points ever, which is crazy because he's 37 now. He's talking like he's gonna play till he's 40. So Kareem doesn't seem that far away. That seems like a real possibility that LeBron gets that. What do you make of LeBron eclipsing Karl Malone and what he's kind of carving out for himself as a pro in the NBA? What do you think of how his legacy will how we look back on this time with LeBron in the NBA?
I think his legacy is already there. It's already built. He's definitely an icon of our game. He's the Michael Jordan of these kids now today, Michael Jordan of this era. That's why there's a big debate of who's the GOAT, because these kids looking at LeBron as their GOAT. A lot of these kids don't know Michael Jordan. They don't know. They never saw him play. They didn't see that era. So, that's Michael Jordan to them. LeBron James is, that guy. He's that icon. He's that man in the game right now. And just to continue to see the things that he's done, just knowing him since high school, playing against him since high school, and just, seeing just the level that he's went to and just the things that he's done, for the game, on and off the court. It's great to see, man. It's inspiring. And he's definitely probably the probably the best of all time of a person who just changed the game in so many different ways, not just on the court, just as a businessman off the court, just as a, just an icon, man. Like, just be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, he changed the game like Allen Iverson changed the game or something in a way. Allen Iverson made it cool to wear regular clothes and be him. He let it be known that I can still be a star in this league, still can be an icon and be myself. And I think that went a long way with a lot of people. And then LeBron just being that person that branded himself, just really paving the way for these young guys of learning how to brand yourself as a person, brand yourself and becoming more than just basketball. I love that phrase that he made. That he came up with, more than an athlete. I love it. You know what I'm saying? I love it. So, because it really is, I think a lot of people look at us that we just people that can just dribble the ball and shoot shots and that's it. Oh yeah, we getting paid a lot of money, but we're more than that. We actually very, intelligent guys and, know a little bit more than what people may think. You know what I'm saying? So just to see, him and a lot of guys, CP, Melo, D Wade, Shaq, just see those guys do things on another level outside of basketball. It's inspiring, man. I love to see that.
Yeah, most definitely. Like, you see, a high school kid on the cover of Sports Illustrated, next big thing, chosen one, tattooed on his back, and continues to deliver over and over again. The durability he's been able to showcase, like never missing a playoff game, like due to injury. It's like unheard of. Like, he's a true Iron Man of the sport and incredible basketball player on top of it. So like, it's the perfect blend of things. And I think we're in a really special time. And I don't know, we have this league is filled with a lot of really good and really special young players, right? Like, even like Giannis is like only 27 years old, 28 years old. Like,
it's crazy.
He's been a multiple time MVP and league champion already. And you look at the younger guys like John Morant, LaMelo Ball, Trae Young, Luka Doncic, like I mentioned before, Jason Tatum, what he's doing in Boston. Like, these guys, the NBA like kind of replenishes himself, but like only few can like break out into be like the upper echelon. And LeBron did it. And he's doing it. He's still doing it. And I can't wait to see what a 40-year-old LeBron is up to. Like, I don't know if it'll be any different than what we're seeing currently.
Nah, he definitely looks good, man. Just to be at 37 and have an opportunity to be scoring champ, I think that speaks for itself. Just a guy that's put in the time, put in the work with his body, taking care of himself and, working on his game and, finding different things to come back and be better at the next year after year after year after year. And it's just amazing, man. Like you said, it's amazing to see, amazing to watch.
Yeah, most definitely. So Nets and Jazz went final as we're recording here. So officially, Nets won. Officially, the Nets are one game ahead of the Hornets. So the 7-10 range, Raptors, 40 wins, 31 losses. Nets, 38 wins, 34 losses. Hornets right there, 37-35. Hawks, 35-36 after the Pelicans beat them yesterday as we're recording this. They did us a favor there. Oh, man. So it's crunch time, we'll see who stands. I think the Hornets are locked in as much as they can be locked in to like unofficially locked in, I guess where I'm going, into the play-in scenario. And, they can hopefully just at this point playing for home court for one of these games, if not both these games, depending on where the seedings go. So I'm here for it. Hopefully things go better than last time against the Pacers. I never want to experience that again. That was a terrible time on stream. I can't lie.
Yeah, that was brutal. That was brutal to watch. It was. Yeah. I actually felt bad for them boys, man. It was brutal.
Same, yeah. No, it was bad.
But I hope they remember that though, and use that as fuel. I hope they remember that though. Like, I hope Coach show that game right before they about to play, like 2 days prior. Don't do it the day before. Yeah. But like 2 days prior, put that in their mind. Like, this is what happened last year when y'all wasn't ready, when y'all wasn't prepared for this. So get yourself prepared, get yourself mentally ready, because this is what can happen if you're not. So, I think they need to think about that game. You know what I'm saying? Once they get to that point, going into that postseason, just so it don't happen again.
Oh yeah, no, I think that's a great idea. I think it's a really great idea. Well, I think that's the show for this week. I appreciate everyone out there listening. I appreciate you, Raymond, as always. Thank you so much for listening.
I appreciate you too, my guy.
Hey, my guy. Thank you so much for listening to the Bleav in Hornets podcast on the Bleav Podcast Network, presented by Bet Online. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace.